In 2025, book reviews are arguably one of the most important parts of Amazon KDP, because if a potential customer lands on your book listing and you don't have reviews, they simply don't trust your book and they're gonna go off to a competitor who does have reviews and buy their book instead. And not only do reviews build trust with your potential customers, they also allow Amazon to push it more in the algorithm, which ultimately leads to even more sales for your book. So essentially, to make sales on Amazon KDP, you need to have reviews on your book. But the big problem is a lot of people can't get those initial reviews on their book that will kickstart this whole sales process. And those people who are getting reviews by using tools like Puppy might actually be at risk of getting their account terminated due to updates in Amazon KDP's terms and conditions. So in this video, I'm going to show you a completely safe and legitimate way to get these initial reviews on your books and do so in a way that doesn't risk your KDP account being terminated. So before I jump in and show you the tool, this is the update to Amazon's terms and conditions that might be catching a lot of people out who are using sites like Puppy. Now, I have previously made a video showing you how to use Puppy as a good way to get reviews in your books, but this update literally came out a couple of days after I made that video, so I recommend you pay very close attention to this. These are the terms and conditions when it comes to customer reviews on your Amazon KDP books, and what KDP basically did is they added in a couple of lines at the ends of their terms and conditions. So basically says, here are a few examples of where a review is not permitted, and here are the two new ones they've added in. Firstly, if the customer is a member of a review club where sellers or brands give the customer ratings or refer the customer to other sellers or brands based on their review. And the second one is the customer is a member of a review club where they are asked to register their Amazon public profile so that sellers or brands may monitor their reviews or products offered through the club. Now, all of this information is extremely boring and hard to actually understand, so I'm going to break it down in very simple terms for you. What this basically means is you can't get reviews through sites like Puppy if everything is done through some kind of public profile. So what this basically means is if you get a review from something like Puppy, but you can see the name of the person who's left that review, Amazon therefore considered that to be an illegitimate review because technically you have information about that person's public profile, and hypothetically you could contact them and tell them maybe to remove the review or do something with the review and therefore manipulate the experience. So the big problem here all comes down to this idea of public profile and seeing the name of the person who left the review on your book. So I'm just on my Puppy account to show you an example of what I mean by this. So as you can see, here is a review that was left on one of my random books in April 2022. The name here is PDC. It's a bit of a bad example because it's not an actual name, but this is going to be the name of the person's Amazon account that they left their review. So technically this could say something like Paul or something like that. So I have the name of the person that's left the review on my book, and this is now against Amazon's terms and conditions. So when it comes to using a tool to help get reviews on your books, you crucially shouldn't be able to see the name of the person that's left their review. So this is why I actually recommend you don't use Puppy anymore. I know it's annoying and confusing because I recently made a video showing you how to use Puppy, but this update literally came out, as I said, a couple of days after that video, and why I wanted to make this video to ensure that everyone is completely safe. Now, if I'm being completely honest, this is probably not going to get you in trouble with your Amazon KDP account, but again, you can never be too careful, and why I wanted to just give an alternative option for those of you who might be a little bit worried about something like this. And that alternative option is Book Bounty. Now, I will leave a link to Book Bounty down below in the description, but it works in a very, very similar way to Puppy, but the big difference between Book Bounty and Puppy is that on Book Bounty, the reviews that you get, you can't see who has left the review for you, and therefore it's definitely within Amazon's terms and conditions, and we're moving away from that kind of blurred line that Puppy hasn't yet crossed. So as you can see, it works in a very similar way to Puppy. You review other people's books, you get a score that you can then spend on getting reviews for your books. I'm going to show you a full tutorial in just a sec, but I'm just introducing it to you now. So it's very, very similar to Puppy, but you're just much more protected. And what I really, really like about Book Bounty is they're really on top of all of these updates that Amazon come out with. Whenever there's been an update in terms and conditions from Amazon sites in regards to reviews, I, as a user of Book Bounty, have received an email from them to explain exactly what this update is and also how they have adapted their software to make sure they're still following all of these updated guidelines. So honestly, you're very, very safe with using Book Bounty. Another benefit of using Book Bounty over something like Puppy is it's a lot more affordable. If you sign up on a monthly subscription using my link down below in the description, it's $25 a month if you sign up on a monthly basis, or only $15 per month if you sign up on a yearly basis. So it's safer than Puppy and it's also cheaper than Puppy. So how Book Bounty works is you essentially have your bounty score up here and you use these points to get reviews on your books. But to get these points in the first place, you need to be reviewing other people's books. And this is how you do it. If you scroll across to Bounty Library here, you can see all of these different books that you can use and you can read and also review and get book bounty scores for. So as you can see, the bounty score is here, and you might notice that some books have a higher bounty score than others. That's basically because some books you actually have to purchase them on Amazon in order to leave your review. So therefore you have to pay a little bit of money, but you get more bounties for doing that. So it's entirely up to you kind of which one you want to go for. You can filter everything here by free promotions, Kindle Unlimited, verified purchases. You can sort by highest bounties. So the Dog's Guide to Happiness, I get 2,620 bounties for reviewing this book. But just for this example here, let's just go for a free download and choose one of these books here. I'm going to choose this one here, Read Faster, Remember More. If I review this book, I get 1,280 bounties. So I'm going to go ahead and just click into this book and press choose this bounty. When you do that, you will see the reward you get, 1,280 bounty points. It's going to be a standard review. I'll show you exactly what that means in just a second. It shows you the date in which it's due, and it also shows you the word count of the book. So all you would do is go ahead and press start reading. And as you can see, these bounty points have now been added to my account, and it will give me basically a calendar of when everything needs to happen. So then you want to scroll down here to where it says bounty to-dos, and you have to go ahead and do all of these different tasks. So firstly, you need to go ahead and download the book. Just press this link here, and what that will do is download the book that you want to go ahead and read and then leave a review for. And I will say here, like any other review site, you need to provide a genuine and honest review. This is not a case of just paying to get 5-star reviews on your book. That's not how this worked. These are all genuine and honest reviews. So the reviews you're getting on your book, if your book is poor quality and using something like Book Bounty, you're going to get a bad review. It's not a case of just because you're using this, you're always going to get 5-star reviews. Reviews on here are genuine and legitimate. That's how it stays within Amazon's terms and conditions. So make sure, firstly, your book is high quality, and also when you're reviewing other people's books, you give genuine and honest reviews. So here is the book that we're going to be reviewing here. What you would do is take a couple of days, go through this entire book, and then once you've read this book, you would go back into Book Bounty. You would tick off this as downloaded the book. You would then have read the book, and then you want to press this view on Amazon button. And what this will do is take you over to the listing, and that's where you can go ahead and submit your review on Amazon. By default, it will take you to the American store, but if you're someone like myself that lives in the UK, all you need to do is simply go over here and just replace this with .co.uk and then leave the review on this site. Then once you've left your review, you would check this post your review on Amazon button and then copy and paste the review into here and then submit this bounty on Book Bounty. And what Book Bounty will do is they will take the review you've submitted to them and make sure it matches exactly with the review you've left on Amazon, and then everyone is a winner. You've got your bounty and then they've got their review. So now that you've reviewed someone else's book, you've got bounties. It's now time for you to spend those bounties and get reviews on your own book. What you want to do is go over to my book section here and then just press this plus new book button. And then this is how you set up your book to get reviews. So you want to go ahead and put in the title of your book. So for the title, I'm just using an example here. So I've just put in my test book, and I've also just put my name as the author, but put the actual title of your Amazon KDP book, go into your listing, copy and paste it and put it in here, and then just put your author name in here as well. And then you have the option of the type of bounty contract that you like. Now, this is the bit where it gets a little bit confusing, and I want to explain how you can navigate this. So you have 3 different types of reviews. You have a standard review, you have a Kindle Unlimited review, and you have a verified purchase review. Now, verified purchase is the strongest kind of review that you can get because it basically means someone's gone in, bought your book, and then left a review, and you will have a verified purchase review right next to the review on your Amazon listing. So this is definitely the best one you can get, but it does cost a few more bounties. The next best one is Kindle Unlimited. This is basically when you upload a Kindle version of your book, someone downloads it during a free promotion, and you get a review that way. And then the final review you can get is a standard review. It's technically the weakest kind of review you can get, but it's actually really, really good if you have things like coloring books and you have things like activity books that can't be converted into ebooks, because both of these 2 options require your book to be in an ebook format. They're downloading the Kindle version of your book. They're purchasing the ebook version of your book. So if you have a coloring book or an activity book or any kind of book that can't be an ebook version, it's generally quite difficult to get reviews. And that's why you need to be using this standard option here, because what they do with this standard option is exactly what I've just shown you in that previous example. You will upload a PDF or an EPUB version of your book onto Book Bounty. Someone will go ahead and review your book. They'll then download it just like we've done, and they'll actually read through the PDF version rather than the actual Amazon version. And they're still able to leave a review because they have read what your book is about. So if it's a coloring book or an activity book, they'll get access to the PDF. They can print those pages off, they can use it, and then they can leave their review. So ideally, if your book can be converted to Kindle, I would always recommend going for the verified purchase. definitely the strongest kind of review you can get. But if it's like a coloring book or an activity book, like I say, just stick to the standard review. And if you just click this button, this is where you upload the PDF file of your book interior. Now, once you've done that, you then need to upload a file of your front cover. This literally just needs to be a PNG of the front cover of your book. It's not the entire cover itself, it's just the front cover. So as you can see in this example, this is literally the PNG file they've uploaded, nothing to do with the back cover, literally just a screenshot or an image of your front cover. So just going back to what I was saying a second ago, when you upload this PDF file of your book, the file that I'm talking about here is the one that someone who comes to review your book, they'll press this book here, and it's just this file that you upload here. So it's basically just the interior of your book for someone to go ahead and read, and they can leave a review based off that. So that's what I mean by uploading your book file here, and your front cover is just that PNG image. You then need to upload an Amazon URL or a short example of an Amazon URL. Some people get a little bit confused by this, but I'm going to show you exactly what it means. Say this was an example of your book. If you want to go up to the URL here, as you can see, it's quite a long one. You want to find the bit where it says /ref, and then everything after here, you just want to go ahead and delete. And this is the URL you want to go ahead and copy into Book Bounty. Then simply just go ahead and select a genre, depending on whatever book you have. Let's just say it's to do with cookbooks, food and wine. And then just leave a brief description of your book. This doesn't have to be your actual Amazon book description. Just allow someone who's potentially going to read your book to know a little bit more about it before they go ahead and review it. And then just press submit for approval. And then in a couple of days, it will be approved by Book Bounty, and then you can list it and people can start reviewing it for you. So once your book has been approved by Book Bounty, just click into the book itself and then just press start a bounty. And then you can choose loads of different things. So the turnaround time, you can choose 1 day, you can choose 4 days. The quicker it is, the more, bounties that you will spend. As you can see, 1 day will cost you 1,250. 4 days will cost you a little bit less, but it obviously takes longer to get that review in. You then choose a certain bounty contract type. So for the example of this book here, I only selected standard when I actually uploaded my book to Book Bounty. So this is the only option. So I would then go ahead and press standard. And then all I would do is just press send bounty. And then my book will appear here just like everybody else's. Someone will come along, they'll click into my book, and then they will leave a review. They get their bounty score, and then I get my review. And that's exactly how Book Bounty works. So that's how you can get legitimate reviews on your Amazon KDP books without the risk of it being terminated. Now, if you do want to check out Book Bounty, I will leave that link down below in the description. And if you have any questions about anything I've covered in here, you want me to clarify anything that you might be a little bit confused about, then please do let me know in the comment section down below.